let's hear from, and the great thing about this 8 o'clock show is now, because we can play you some of the interviews from the complex, and that kind of gives us a better idea what they're thinking, perhaps what you guys are thinking as well. So this first set of interviews with the defense?
Yeah, with the defense, and for anybody who watched Sports Extra last night, you heard Quell Jackson's comments and how he felt the defense played.
You had to get the bleep machine
Had to get the bleep machine out for that. He was upset.
That's good. I like that, though. I want guys pissed off,
Absolutely,
though, you know?
Absolutely. And he pointed the finger at himself. Quell had 2 tackles in the game.
Thank you.
2 tackles in the game, and so this is a question that you actually asked Mike Adams. We'll start with Mike Adams, and look, they're pulling guys off the street in the defensive backfield. They were doing that before Sunday's game, and then in the game they lose T.J. Green and Patrick Robinson, and so you asked Mike Adams whether or not that could be used, I don't know, as an excuse.
Yeah.
Doing that. Nah, for what? You're wasting time making excuses because it's the NFL. You know, the guys that came in, they're getting paid. They're getting paid to do a job, and obviously they're capable, and they're here because they're capable. So we expect them to step up when it's time. You know, that's how I got my shot. When I was a young pup, someone got hurt, I stepped in. You know, and no one made excuses for me saying, "Oh, it's okay, he's a rookie," or "He didn't know, that's why he didn't make that tackle," or "He didn't know." Nah, we're not going to do that. We ain't going to play that game.
That's the National Football League. That's what you sign up for. You know, I'm sure every guy in this building is taking extra care of their body this week because, you know, at one point throughout the game, you know, you just kept seeing bodies on the ground, and you just hoped and prayed it wasn't you were going to be next. You know, so it's something that we're dealing with. We'll get through it. It's early in the season. Nothing is. You know, we'll get some guys back here soon, and but in the meantime, we got to go with the guys that we have.
Did you see Stephen Holder in the background shaking his head at DeQuell's answers like, no, that's not right. What are you talking about? No. Do we have to pay Stephen Holder now for the Indianapolis Star, by the way? Does a great job, beat writer for the
yeah.
Do we have to pay him now for his appearance? And the comic relief.
Absolutely.
He's shaking his head. No.
Well, it wasn't all that bad. Well, I don't. Yeah, yes, it was. I agree with Mike Adams. Mike was very upset.
I love Mike Adams, man. I could hear him read a menu.
He would do it passionately.
He talks with such passion.
Yeah, he'll do it passionately, absolutely. And they're just they're in a tough spot. I mean, that's one area where you can understand that they would be struggling as far as the defensive backfield with all of those injuries that they have going on right now. Yeah. They did get some good news. Darius Butler looks like he'll be back on the practice field on Wednesday. Clayton Gathers, second-year player, had T.J. Green starting in his spot, and obviously T.J. was hurt yesterday. Looks like Clayton may be able to get some limited reps this week as well.
I mentioned this last night on Sports Extra. I use this as a roster. It's called a flip card. They give it to us up in the press box. I spent a lot of time looking at the Colts DVDs going, all right, yeah, that's Winston Guy. He's been around here for a while.
Yeah.
You know, and then Rashawn Melvin. Nope, couldn't. If he sat down right here, we couldn't tell you who it was.
Nope.
So a lot of guys, and they were just completely gassed by the fourth quarter.
Which is unfortunate.
Up and down
the Colts,
defense.
Yeah, because the Colts, the offense finally found a rhythm, and they were able to sustain some drives to get back in the football game. And you would think that maybe based off of adrenaline and then these long drives that the Colts offense that they were able to put together, and the defense may be able to be rejuvenated by that, find some extra juice, especially with the crowd back in it. So the Colts scored a touchdown, add a 2-point conversion to tie it at 28, and you're thinking, okay, defense,
let's go,
get a stop, and we can wrap this bad boy up. And they allow a 75 play, it was about 8 or 9 plays, 75-yard drive to score the go-ahead touchdown up 34-28. And then we know what happened after that. But they had opportunities. They just didn't get stops, and they couldn't tackle anybody.
They had opportunities, but you got to take advantage of those opportunities.
You have to take advantage of them.